Chapter 1: The Great Equalizer is failing. For thousands of years, humanity has lived under one absolute, non-negotiable truth. Death is the great equalizer. No matter the height of one's throne or the depth of one's vault, the biological clock eventually stops for everyone. This shared mortality has been the foundation of our social contracts, our religions, and our laws. However, to the world's absolute financial elite, the idea of an inevitable end is no longer an accepted fate. It is perceived as a technical glitch in the human operating system that can be debugged with sufficient capital. We are entering an era where the 0.1% are moving beyond the accumulation of land, gold, and digital assets. They are now investing their massive fortunes into the ultimate frontier, biological sovereignty. While the masses rely on aging public healthcare systems and standardized medical regulations, the global elite view their own bodies as the ultimate sovereign territory that must be fortified against the erosion of time. In high-tech laboratories hidden within private island estates and in regulated special economic zones, a quiet revolution is taking place. This is not about simple wellness or longevity. It is about the structural decoupling of wealth from the human lifespan. Elites are shifting their focus from managing wealth to engineering immortality. They recognize that in a world of hyperinflating currencies and shifting geopolitical borders, the only asset that truly matters is the time required to see their dynasties endure for centuries. To the tech barons of Silicon Valley and the sovereign royals of the Middle East, biological decay is the final regulation they intend to bypass. Chapter 2: Private Bio-Sanctuaries and Regulatory Hacking. The quest for biological sovereignty begins with the evasion of state-mandated medical regulations. In most modern nations, clinical trials and genetic therapies are slowed down by decades of bureaucratic oversight and ethical restrictions designed to protect the general public. But for those who possess the monopoly of capital, these regulations are merely obstacles to be bypassed. This is why we are seeing the rise of private bio-sanctuaries, ultra-exclusive medical facilities, located in jurisdictions with minimal oversight, such as the Cayman Islands, Honduras's ZEDEs, or private clinical hubs in the Mediterranean. Here, the elite are participating in experimental gene editing therapies, such as CRISPR-Cas9 telomere lengthening and offshore stem cell rejuvenations that are legally prohibited in the United States and Europe. They are shopping for biological laws just as they shop for tax laws. By establishing these sovereign medical enclaves, the elite have effectively created a two-tiered biological reality. In one tier, the ordinary citizen follows the slow, regulated path of natural aging. In the other, the sovereign individual utilizes their wealth to access the software of life, editing their genetic code to enhance cognitive function, increase bone density, and pause the cellular aging process. These facilities operate entirely outside the surveillance of global health organizations. They are the new cathedrals of science, where the priesthood of biotechnology works exclusively for the owners of the world's infrastructure. By decoupling themselves from national health mandates, the elite are ensuring that their biological evolution is no longer tied to the pace of the rest of humanity. Chapter 3: Biocapital and the Blood Ledger. As this divergence accelerates, wealth itself is taking on a biological form. We are seeing the emergence of biocapital, where the preservation of the physical self becomes a liquid asset. This manifests in the highly secretive and controversial world of young blood parabiosis and personalized organ bioprinting. While public discourse focuses on the ethics of these procedures, the elite are treating human biology as a bearer bond. They are rotating their capital into personalized biobanks, secure private facilities that store their own stem cells, young plasma, and even 3D printed biological backups of vital organs. This ensures that in the event of a systemic biological failure, they possess a private inventory of life-saving components that the state cannot seize or regulate. This is the ultimate evolution of value storage, A billionaire can lose their digital accounts. Their real estate can be confiscated in a revolution. And their gold can be stolen. But if they have successfully edited their DNA to be more resilient and have a private supply of rejuvenated biological assets, they possess a form of wealth that is literally encoded into their being. This blood ledger is untraceable and non-confiscatable. It represents a level of autonomy that makes traditional financial sovereignty look primitive. In this high-stakes game of biological engineering, the goal is to transform the body into a fortress that is immune to the systemic shocks of the external world. They are building an unbreakable biological shield, ensuring that their consciousness remains active to witness the long-term success of their geopolitical and financial designs. Chapter 4: The Sovereign Mind and Digital Exit Strategies. Beyond the physical body, the 0.1% are obsessively focused on the preservation of the sovereign mind. True biological sovereignty requires that the intellect remain sharp and dominant long after the natural peak of the human brain. This is driving massive, secret investments into neural link interfaces and cognitive-enhancing neurotechnology. The elite are not just looking for more years. They are looking for higher processing power. They intend to merge their consciousness with advanced AI systems to maintain a strategic advantage over the unaugmented masses. This is the ultimate mind state, a territory of pure thought that exists entirely outside the reach of government propaganda and social engineering. And for those who fear that the flesh may still fail despite all enhancements, the ultimate exit strategy is being prepared. Cryogenics and digital consciousness uploading. High-tech vaults in the mountains of Switzerland and the deserts of the American West House. The frozen remains of those who have gambled their fortunes on a future resurrection. To the ordinary person, this seems like science fiction. To the sovereign elite, it is a logical macroeconomic bet on the future of technology. If they cannot defeat death today, they will freeze their existence to bypass the current limitations of time, waiting for a century where the technology of immortality is absolute. They are literally placing themselves in a time vault, hoping to re-emerge in an era where they can reclaim their dynasties as immortal rulers. Chapter 5: The Neo-Darwinist Future. What we are witnessing is the birth of a new, high-tech feudalism not based on land or gold, but on the very code of life. By decoupling their biology from the natural laws of aging and the regulatory laws of the state, the global elite are constructing a permanent genetic caste system. In the near future, the most profound inequality will not be the gap between the rich and the poor, but the gap between the biologically enhanced and the naturally decaying. We are looking at a world where a small class of sovereign humans possesses the intellect and lifespan of gods, while the rest of humanity remains trapped in the traditional cycle of life and death. This deep architectural shift in the human condition will redefine everything from inheritance laws to global governance. If a ruler can live for 200 years, what happens to the concept of democracy? If a CEO can enhance their brain to process data 1,000 times faster than their employees, what happens to the labor market? The quest for biological sovereignty is the final stage of the elite's exit from the human grid. They are no longer just escaping our laws, they are escaping our species. Is this the pinnacle of human achievement and the ultimate triumph of individual freedom? Or is it a terrifying descent into a neo-Darwinist nightmare? The answer will define the next 1,000 years of human history. Tell us your philosophy in the comments below. Thank you for watching this investigation. Subscribe to future Prism Lab for the deeper, hidden mechanics of global wealth and elite architecture.